Hello everybody all over the world. Hi and welcome to HiGPS number 293. I had to look on the other screen. So welcome. This is of course the episode, medic episode that we all did, which is basically a medigun that matters. So we're gonna look and see how you can get your medigun to matter, and it's basically your choice of medigun that is going to matter. So a lot of times I've seen people, and by other people I mean YouTubers like Array7 and others who've been like, use the quick fix, it's great. And then I play games with the quick fix and it sucks. So this is kind of just to give more information to that, because just because someone says you should use it, it's great. Sure, it might be great, but it might not always be great. So that's what we have unlocked. So we have the 4 for the medic, and I'll just give you a brief rundown of how I prioritize it, and I normally do pretty well. So you have the standard medigun. I would recommend always open with the regular medigun, no matter what you do, because you just joined the game, you don't necessarily know what they're running. That's the main feature. This thing is good all over, does pretty well. And then also, if the target is that the enemy is hard to kill, then you go for this. If you have a lot of soldiers and demo men on your team, generally a Kritzkrieg is a pretty good choice. If you need mobility and sustainability and you have really good APM, then this should be your choice. If you have extremely good APM and your teammates know that they can take more damage with the Vaccinator, with the resistances you provide, use this. That's basically the general basis of how you choose which medigun you are going to use. Right? Right. So we have a couple of demos today, so we're just going to go through them. So it's always nice that we have some people that only is very good at one class, and whenever they submit for that one class, it's always very good. So let's go into the first demo here, shall we? It's going to be from one of our guys, Karma's Camera. And normally, APM means actions per minute. It means how good of an overview you have of any situation and how well you perform and like heal everybody. So basically your APM in this situation would be to know how much health all of your teammates have and how to distribute the health and how you turn around and actually how fast you can do it. So here he has full health and then he switches targets. This guy has full health but in the front. And then he switches to around that side. So it's basically like how fast you look around. If you see me playing medic on a good day, you'll see I'm just paying more attention to whatever's behind me and around me than is. So of course this is on casual, not a casual server. It's actually on a community server because it's actually 16 versus 16 on Dustbowl. And of course he's playing on the red team, which is the best team, and they have a ton of demo men. So when you have a good amount of demo men, soldiers, because they have splash damage, and this map sucks because it's just a gigantic narrow chokehold. This is like the most, this is the chokiest TF2 gets around this bend right here. It doesn't get more choky. Like if you play scout here, you're stupid. There's nothing you can do about this at all. And yeah, just he's just healing and healing everybody. So let's see how he manages the heals. The enemy team, of course, has a demo knight, which I thought was a good idea, but man, oh man, was he wrong. You can see the heavy there in the front taking a lot of damage, not getting the heals, spending some arrows and maximizing the healage. And of course, this is the like the recipe for how to make the blue team never ever capture this point. Just tons. Just stack defensive classes and soldiers, because they're not listed as defensive. So if you go, if you have heavies, engineers, soldiers, demos, and maybe a pyro and a couple of medics, the blue team can't take this point. It's impossible unless you severely fuck up, like you break a leg or you fall on your face or your computer catches fire or someone actually decides to cut the power to your house because you're just such good of a player, like someone did in EVE Online, or at least they plotted to. So another crit's coming in. You can see that he works with another medic that's also running the crit. So double crit equals double the crits plus another medic with Uber. So they have 3 healers. And then he kills a little spy here. Of course, the spy are delicious Uber food for you. Just whack him with the Uber saw and fucking kill him. You'll be doing pretty good all over. So we can see that he's still distributing a lot of health to his team, and his team is distributing a lot of pain in return, which is what the medic's all about. And how do you break this? Well, the answer is that you don't. You can see here that they tried to do something, but they ultimately fail. He has 16 health, and he survives. Like a boss. And this demo is long. We're about at the halfway mark, and he hasn't died yet. So you can see he's just... Man, isn't this great, TF2? Oh shit, they broke the defenses quickly. Let's just retake the area, pop another crits on the demo man, which is really good. It's like the most original, super good strategy you'll ever see. And even though the enemy team isn't going to be able to capture this, or might be able to capture this, there's still the absolute worst choke in the entire game, which is what you were looking at right here. It's impossible to push through if your defending team knows what they're doing. Get like 2 engineers, one with the short circuit, and you're good forever. You counter everything. You win. You win the game. And of course, also soldiers with backpacks is the shit. It's really good and really strong. Like, Battalion's backup with Kritzkrieg equals you can't kill me, but I'll be sure as hell kill you. And there wasn't really that many to kill because the demo men just have been cleaning up. And I remember back in the day, this was the TF2 experience when Dustbowl was like one of the few maps of choice you had to play on. It's just super choky, and it's very old design from when you had like instant respawns and stuff like that from the TFC days. And it just like, you just stack one class, and it's just... Like, the blue team haven't even touched the point in all this time since they first almost captured it. So I'm just gonna blast through here. You can see just basic, he has full crits again, goes in. Sancho sticks, and now it looks like the enemy team might actually do something here. So we're just gonna wait for them to come, and here it goes. The super heal. So this is actually one of the places where the amputator for the medic is pretty good as well. So that's nice. And then it's just heal, 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 keep healing, shoot bombs, and then rinse and repeat. You can see that there's just bombs being shot, heals being distributed, and the enemy. Do you think the enemy team is gonna be able to push this? Do you think they are? This is 2 level 3 sentries, couple of medics, dispensers, soldiers, demos, and heavies, and a pyro for good measure, making sure that you can't ever pass. This is like a bunch of Gandalfs just saying that you shall not pass over and over, but is in TF2 form. And then we have a heavy who's like, oh, a bit slow on the trigger, and then Uber Kritzkrieg heavy laser beams. Oh, and he died too. Dark hit. But that's okay. I think they won. I think it's safe to say that they won. So that was Dustbowl. Thank you very much. You can win by proxy if you play Medic with crits and you have a red demo man, because it's just really, really strong, because narrow hallways and a lack of flanks makes the demo super strong and the scout ultra shit on that map. So next up is going to be Rattle Wrench, and he's going to be starting off with the regular Medigun. And he's going to be healing his team. So let's take a look at his APM. So we can see that he heals the engineer, and then he switches to the pyro, and you can see he doesn't need to look at the pyro. And he tries to shoot an arrow and misses, that's fine. And then he continues healing the pyro, who then gets shot by the other dude. So I like what he's doing. I'm not sure if he just joined the game, he's been a part of it from before, but starting Medigun, very good choice. And then he dies to a crit, and he's like, well, this makes me angry. A crit. Well, now he switches to the quick fix. Not sure why, but there's probably some reason for it. So you can go with the increased mobility and the increased health. However, keep in mind that Sedic there, the sniper, might not have died if he had had full overheal. However, I don't know the chargedness of the other sniper's shot there, so that's one thing to consider. So yes, the quick fix does heal the most, but then again, it doesn't buffer the most. I'm talking about buffer about overheal. So quick fix is good against targets that give a stream of damage. Targets like pyro, heavy, and sentries are usually, the quick fix is usually pretty good against them because you can heal up on that. However, burst classes, especially good burst classes like the sniper, demo, and soldier, can really screw you over when you're using this. If they play it correctly. And of course, you get the super overheal that you can't really use to bust sentries, but right now we're not doing any sentry busting, so that's fine. It also builds a lot, so you'll get the healing faster, but keep in mind you're vulnerable to backstabs, sticky traps, and headshots the entire time. But that doesn't seem to be the issue right now, so we're still holding. We're not sure if this actually mattered, because he could have been running, from what I've seen, he could have been running any Medigun, I think, except the Vaccinator at this point, and he would be performing about the same. Maybe even better, because you give that buff. And usually, it's all about surviving because the time to death in Team Fortress 2 is so low, usually the additional healing time is not going to add up for the initial buff that you have. So normally just surviving the initial hit will allow you to kill the enemy before they can follow up on that. However, if you don't have that, you will be in a much worse shape, which is the case for the quick fix a lot of the times. And, which is what the people that say that the quick fix is really good, they don't tell you that. So, still just healing a bunch of guys they're having in the front. He pops it. There's really nothing here. It's really good for mobility, but how we are defending, so we don't really need to go anywhere. Crits might have been good here, maybe. Maybe just kept with Uber. In this situation, I don't see any kind of, like, he's not making a wrong choice, but it's hard to tell if he's making the right choice too, because anything works. So, if they're still holding, of course, this is Barn Blitz last, so nothing is ever going to get passed through here if the defending team has any remotely idea what they're doing. As long as they have sentries and heavies and medics and stuff. So yeah, that Pyro just acting just like a spy. Be sure if you're a Pyro, just always use your flamethrower. And he still isn't sure, and there, finally, he decides to shoot some flames and show who he is. So there you go. It's just, the main thing is that the quick fix isn't that reliable, but it's good for just surviving an Uber like this. You can see that the other demo is just going to shoot one sticky and detonate, and you can't kill anything with that. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good for that. Just easy survival, but you have to distribute the health evenly. So what you want to do is, well, as a medic, you want to heal everybody, but it's really counterintuitive to heal everybody with the quick fix because the overheal is so low. And there you can see Sleepy taking out that heavy with a headshot. We don't know the charge, but he might have had higher overheals when he hadn't used the quick fix. But I don't think it will matter at this point. You can see that Rattle Wrench here is just doing basic healing work, healing everybody. And the enemy team is just going to be able to touch the card for a little bit. We also have a sentry watching the card. There you go. Victory. And there's the jump. So, there we had an example of it actually not mattering because your team was so good that your choice of Medigun actually didn't impact that much. The only thing I could see was a couple of guys got headshot, and that was it. Other than that, he kept him alive, and that was all right. So basically, coming back to the part which is what I mentioned about APM, which is a term that comes from strategy games, which is your actions per minute. It's really hard to measure that, but it's like every action you do, like every time you move, jump, look around, switch heal targets, the higher your APM is, the more overview you will have of the situation, and the more overview you have of the situation, the better you will be able to see stuff. So basically the choice of Medigun is compound into this little list that I made here that I consider whenever I do it. It's when I first join, I just look at the team composition, what's on my team. Then as the fight goes on, I will see what the enemy team is running. And then you have to think, if you're playing this on casual, you usually have a couple of champions on your team. That's usually the best players on your team, like what classes are they playing. And then also you have the champions on the other team, which is usually, you know, people that are way better than all the others, and you usually have a couple of champions at the top of the scoreboard on each team. So you kind of have to factor that in too. So maybe you have a team composition that would favor, let's say, Kritzkrieg, but all of the soldiers and demos are really bad and they never hit anything. And then you realize that, oh, we might need like a quick fix or like a Vaccinator, or maybe just an Uber, like the best player is a Pyro. Uber with Pyro is really, really good and highly underrated. So yeah, and right now, in case you haven't seen it, there's a cheater on the blue team. And the way you can say it, you can tell, you can't really tell right now, but this is Valimi guy. You just look at, if you just look at the kill feed, and you can see how quickly consecutive kills are happening. Even at the highest level of plays and the best snipers in the world, they're not that quick. It's not like headshot, headshot, headshot. Actually, as a sniper, you do take some time to figure out which target to hit and when to hit them. So sometimes killing people slower is more effective than killing them faster. And he's now using Uber. Going out here, and you can see the sniper over there just jittering and flickering around. Was supposed to be fixed, but the cheaters got around it, just like an endless game of cat and mouse. You can see the Rattle Wrench is being very careful. He's not actually being sniped by anyone at this point. He has gotten a shot, but he hasn't died, which is a big difference. And also keep in mind that even though the cheaters are very good, they can only shoot one target at a time. So if you bomb them both at the same time, you'll be able to do that. So he died, but now you know you're up against the cheater, and then you, well, you don't really have much choice other than to go Vaccinator and bullet resist. And also you have snipers, and if you have snipers that are pretty good, if you get the Vaccinator, you can kill the cheaters because their positioning is fucking shit. And I've had this a couple of times. I've been recording, but I have had a couple of times where, I've just soaked up the initial hit of the cheater and then just quick scoped them back because they actually wasn't moving. Could be hard if they do the look up and spin around. Just keep. Oh man, he killed the heavy with a fully charged headshot before he can get the resist on. Keep in mind that with the resist, you don't take headshots. You take just normal body shot damage regardless of where they hit you. But keep in mind that you have to have targets being hurt in order to build the Vaccinator a lot. So the Vaccinator isn't something I would recommend solo healing with. If you are a medic, I would not recommend using the Vaccinator if you're by yourself, unless it's for something very specific like this. You can see like the charge charges so slowly if you're just healing one target. And also one thing you should always do that he isn't doing here is just don't use the flame resistance unless you're in direct contact with the flamethrower. Because what you want to build as quickly as possible, and having the resistance will actually make them take less damage and make you heal less, thus making you build less Uber. Because I think they remove the fact that you build Uber faster if you heal, if you resist the correct target. And he goes and whack the Spyro just for good measure. So keep that in mind, unless you're in direct contact with the flamethrower, never use the flame resistance, always bullet or explosives. I would say the general rule of thumb is outside bullet, inside explosives. And then we just have our hero sniper here trying to counter sniper this other guy with like a double Vaccinator medic thing going on here. And I think eventually he got kicked. Yeah, he got kicked now, so success for us, I guess. I just hope that when the next update comes out, yeah, as soon as the cheater's gone, it's back to Kritzkrieg. We haven't really seen anyone that's very good with Kritzkrieg, so I'm not sure why this was the choice. But it does charge faster than Uber, and allows you to have other stuff. Yeah, usually we have a soldier here. Maybe he's the champion. I'm just going to boost the champion. Because there isn't really much to boost. Sometimes if you go on medic and you've looked at your team and there's like 4 engineers, 3 spies, a soldier, and just some snipers, then going medic is pretty pointless because there's no power to boost. There's a guy. The rest isn't guys. They're just boys. Die. So, despite killing everybody, and now he has full Kritzkrieg, and then you have the battalions backup. We've seen this before. Battalions backup Kritzkrieg, really strong combination. It's ultra safe. Because I do think it blocks headshots as well. If I'm not mistaken, it's the same type of resistance as the bullet resist. It's all damage. 10 seconds left on the clock. Kritzkrieg coming in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gonna win. Yay, there you go. Alright, so that was Rattle Wrench doing fairly well. So, people in the past have asked me, oh, GPS, why do you think Frontier is shit? I'll show you why Frontier is an awful map. Alright. So I'm just gonna fast forward here. Alright, so this is going to be none other than, did I mention, yeah, Boldly Going Nowhere. And he's gonna be healing some dudes. He has the Kritzkrieg and he has his friend who he is going to be pocketing. So generally, Kritzkrieg is a good choice for defense. It's pretty strong, pretty good. Healing everybody. He also has a fairly high charge. So they're now on the defensive side, of course. You know, red team being the defenders that they are. And it's also this false underscore tip of the hats that is the guy who will be receiving 100% of all the crits. He is the chosen one. He is the champion, and then he's going to be healing this heavy as well, and then just starting off with some laser beam. I take it back. heavy dies, and then he has to heal this, so. Then we have another heavy, so we're just gonna wait a little bit while he just heals everybody up. Pay attention to who he pays attention to, so he's just shooting some arrows on that heavy, and he has a good angle. Makes it easy to hit the arrows. And then he goes back to healing, because you always want to be healing. Tries to hit the demo, it's not so easy to hit him from that angle. Demo hides and stands in the corner, hits him, kind of, or maybe it was the pyro. I think it was pyro. He keeps on healing and just staying back, hitting the scout. He's also hiding in the corner. Shot a preemptive arrow, because he can smell that nuclear Spartan would kill. Or whatever. But now they have crit streak, he's now going with the demo. Alright, are you ready? Here we go. Begin the rape.
Take your chance, beat now.
So, welcome to the part of Frontier that is awful if you're on the blue team and great if you're on the red team and have demo men on your team. Because this, if you haven't noticed, is an uphill battle with hardly any flanks. Because anything that goes through here actually goes through this tiny choke here. So this is the only flank route you have, and you have this little room here on the side, but you have to go quite the distance around to even get there, so chances are you'll get spammed out by the demo men occupying this hallway. No, actually the door is closed, so you can't even enter because design. Whatever. So here they are just holding forward, and the enemy team kills the demo man. Things are looking alright for blue team, I guess, and then red team eventually is going to realize that, hey, we can just at any point in time just go forward and occupy the space, which is exactly what they're going to do. So healing this heavy here, getting lit on fire, having protection from sentries does kill that dude, and now once again we have the chosen one killing a spy. That was obvious to everybody except the spy. He thought he was clever. And then healing the pyro, giving the crit heals. You see, nice APM reaction time. And then, okay.
Nothing can stop you now. Don't see you take attention. Wake up, no car, so car.
Alright, so in case you haven't seen it, having high ground advantage, high choke, or a good choke, demo man, makes it super easy. Mainly because whenever somebody from the blue team attack, they have to face the entire red team who's hiding here. So it's always like, okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1 every time a corner where the guy turns around the corner. And don't build sentry on the tracks, that's dumb. Build it next to the track. They have a dispenser here that's very well hidden. There's no way you can really reliably hit this with the spam. Once again, we have our chosen one just destroying everything with crits, right click, left click. I mean, the other team could go Vaccinator heavy combination and just tank this, but that would require some brains and some coordination from the other team, which they don't have. But here they go. Here comes the attack. And thwarted, I guess. So it's this part and the part before this, the massive uphill battles that blue team has to do in order to win, that it's just so unfair for them and so stacked in red team's favor. I've never ever lost a game in defending when we've had a competent defending team and a competent attacking team. The attacking team just can't win because it's choky, explosive, splash, does all the damage, a couple of crits medics, and you will never ever get this point. And there's nothing you can do about it because there are no flanks. And also the fact that there's like this long hallway to their spawn, which makes for easy spawn camping if you're good enough to do so. So once again, we have full crit screed coming in here and just absolutely destroying everything. And this is gonna put a dampering to their morale because like it's this one demo that just doesn't die, and if you look at the kill streak, they have 33 at this point in time, 35. And the card has actually moved back quite a bit. Nobody's even been able to touch it in all this time. It's just been slowly going back towards their spawn. just because of the outline of the map. So if you want to win on Frontier, just do this always, and you'll never win, and you don't tire of the map, and you want to switch it up your casual list. That sucks. Is that a spy? Or just someone who acted a lot like a spy? So still defending. Still defending. Shooting the pyro in the corner, healing him up. Crit scree again. What do you think is going to happen? You think the enemy team is going to be able to deal? Nope. All I get a couple of kills. And some more kills. Just go downstairs, shoot that. The enemy team also isn't putting on too much pressure, so he doesn't have that hard of a time deciding who to heal, when to heal, how to heal, stuff. It's just like keep his guy in the front, and then we have the engineers with the sentries in the back, and then the blue team's just gonna keep running in one by one and dying to it over and over and over and over. Which is pretty dumb, but now they have an Uber. That, on an Natasha heavy, so you'll do less damage and we can't escape, so we'll just outlast the Uber and kill you. And, this is fair for defenders. Not fair for attackers. Look at this. We can snipe them with like the Machina from the spawn. Oh, look at this sneaky wiki going around the side for a super secret sneak attack. And they actually have built a sentry outside their spawn for spawn protection, but we just destroy that too. False. Which is the hopes that the enemy team have of winning, which is false. At least they touched the cart somewhat, but it's not going through this uphill battle. And medic not healing, just wailing melee around fruitlessly, not accomplishing much. It's gonna be tough to do anything about. The game's about to end. And you can see here, great map design. Because normally, I've said this is like what makes a good map, right? But basically, if you want to have a good map, you need to have a couple of things cleared. One is to not have it as choky. That's like, you can't have a sentry that covers all the entrances. Here, you have that. You have a sentry spot that literally covers every single choke, entry point, and flank with one sentry. And also, the longer route you have should yield an advantage. Here, the enemy team always is on the high ground, and you have no way of getting higher than the enemies. You can only get even ground, which is why it sucks. If you look at other maps, if you look at like Badwater last, the attackers are actually coming from the top and the defenders are at the bottom because the defenders have home advantage. But here it's opposite. They have a high ground, and that's why it's nearly impossible to win. It's just so tough. So right there was no other real point in choice to pick any other Medigun than crits because they just did it so well and killed everything. So this is going to be a Burning Arrow. And he's going to be transitioning from Uber to crits as he plays on this map. And also, speaking of like the uphill battles and stuff, you can argue the same thing here, but actually there's enough cover for you to punish this high ground. But in Frontier it isn't. There's actually quite flat and barren in terms of cover and stuff. So he is just healing everybody. Normal Uber gives you a lot for that initial hit, like soldier, demo, that kind of stuff gives you a lot of survivability, and at the same time allows you to heal the rest of your team and do the same to them. So that's why you can't do that with a quick fix. I mean, you can, but all of your teammates have to be a lot closer and you have to be a lot faster. You need to have a lot higher APM and a lot higher overview. And most medics that use the quick fix, they just don't have that, so they're not able to follow up and heal the correct target at the correct time for the correct amount of whatever. But this is really good. Pyro and Scout Uber into whatever it is that the blue team is doing here is actually pretty good. So they end up cleaning up everything here. I'm not sure what happened to the Pyro, but they did kill the everything that was in the tunnel. And they seem to be surviving quite well off of that. So just keep on healing and stuff like that. So far, Uber is a pretty good choice here. I don't think he would have been able to pull that off with a quick fix. Also, quick fix There's a lot of quick fix hate in this video. It's not hate for the quick fix, it's just like people keep using it wrong. Over and over. If you're not a good medic, then, or if you're learning medic, then Medigun is the one to stick to, because it's the most reliable, it gives the most overheal. Allows you to survive the most initial pain. So he's still building. Spy going down. He's about to have 100% Uber once again. There you go. Uber on whatever as they manage to cap. Speed things up here. See, giving. Let's take a look at his heal priority. So there's not really that many to heal. I mean, he heals that demo and then he goes and heals them. Gives him some overheal. His pyro dies to heavy, so that's gonna happen regardless of what you do. It's just the natural order of things. Pyros have died to heavies ever since the Stone Age, in fact. When the pyro was just throwing small rocks and the heavy were throwing big rocks. So if you try throwing gravel at somebody and they throw a boulder back, I think the boulder's gonna win. So I like what he did here. He tries to go for the arrow shot, misses, and then he's like, whatever, and then overextends and he dies. Then he has to switch to the Kritzkrieg because I'm not sure why. It seems like I haven't seen any real champions on his team, but I assume it's this demo dude here. And he's running a lock and load, and does he have shield? I can't tell. I haven't seen it. Might be because I'm wearing sunglasses inside. I look like an idiot. Also, Kritzkrieg does build faster, so you will have a lot of ground there. He actually hit the guy. Oh, he died to a random crit. That was uncalled for. Have you ever had a random crit that was called for? Like, man, I hope I get a random crit. And now you go, yes, yes. That is me every time I play medic and I use the Uber saw and I get a crit. It's like, yeah, just it's like calculated crit rate on this thing. Great. Battling spies. Spy might be around still. Now it's full Kritzkrieg. Pops it on target hit soldier. Is he going to be able to do anything? No, I don't think so. It seems like his team's very varied and a lot of people keep switching, so I don't think Kritzkrieg actually did anything and then he died. Alright, so we saw that. It didn't really matter that much what he chose there in that situation because his team, there wasn't a lot of power. There wasn't a lot of like, oh, our team is this kind of team. It was just kind of all over the place. But it did transition from Medigun to crits, and I would say the Medigun worked better because then you avoid dying. Yes. So, moving on, we're now back on Upward. This is going to be Kokelbag, a guy who submits medic stuff and is a fairly combative, very competent. That was the word I was looking for. Competent medic. He's going to open Medigun, which is the safest choice you can ever do when you are doing medic plays and you want to do well, other than just be like, I want to have fun and play like shit, which is most of the other TF2bers out there. They just do that, and then they say, "Oh my god," a lot. So he lets the other medics burn the Ruber, getting like pops from the other medics instantly is good. And let's see, will he use his Medigun skills or Uber? Yeah, he waits for the Uber to pass and gets 25% off. Great use of the Uber saw there. He now has a great advantage, or maybe he's even able to catch up to the other medic who may or may not have died. I would really like to hope to see in the next update that we get some more HUD elements in demos, especially the top HUD element that is present in casual, because it allows you to see who dies and stuff. And since the replay system is discounted and we can't really tell that well anymore, then that would be great. So he is also doing basic heal stuff. His APM is good. I would have liked to see him check his back here, but he hasn't gotten stabbed yet. So he's following the principle of if you haven't gotten stabbed, it's no point checking your back because they might not even have a spy. And he's going to focus his heals on that. He's not using any unnecessary arrows like a lot of people will do because he was close to Uber. They go in. This Uber was more like a lifesaver. As you can see, it's not really that much stuff there, and when that happens, you just use up your Uber, flash people as quickly as you can, drain the Uber, and then go back to building. Great stuff. Great, solid medic work, and look at this. Is that Is that a sniper? Thank you for the best. Thank you for the mouthful of Uber. Yeah, I hit you in the mouth and I just extracted the Uber essence from you. And then, holy shit, a bunch of dudes, and then he goes to the high ground, and this guy is dead, and then he teams up with this other heavy guy who seems to be quite competent. It's also protected against Girardi from that hat, because it does protect you against piss rain. Then he gets the heavy, and oh, he gotten stabbed. But that was the first time he gotten stabbed, and he's kind of gotten used to, I would say, because he hasn't gotten stabbed before or even seen a spy, I think, or any spy be any kind of threat, or any spy killing any of his friends. There wasn't really any point to him to check for a spy. But now that he died, there is a reason to check. So, if you're playing casual, that most likely won't be the case, because usually the enemy team consists of nothing but spies. But now we're on the best map if you're defending, but this time it's this medic and with the Vaccinator. So the Vaccinator is extremely hard to use, and it requires you to know exactly what you're doing with the timing and positioning and heal priority and APM, as well as the people you're healing, because there's no point in popping this on people who doesn't know anything. So first off, he starts off by popping the wrong resistance on the demo. He gave him explosive when he's being shot by bullets, and then he adds up for it. So I'd say Vaccinator is really great for when the people you heal are taking constant damage and never get to overheal. So a lot of sustain, and also when you get the resistance, can survive a lot of initial hit. Like that soldier there hardly lost his overheal despite taking 2 or 3 stickies in the ass. So that's pretty good. And then he's just using it over and over, and he pops it on this heavy, misses the heal stream, and he goes down for a cheeky little bone saw or uber saw action. But it's not enough, and then he keeps it like here because he sees, you know, stuff, and then there's bullet. There's one thing I want to check, but I keep checking, but I don't think that the resistance double stack. I was gonna check this before the show, but I forgot. It's the best thing to say. So what I want to figure out is if popping bullet resist and keeping bullet resist on at the same time, because you have the active pop and the passive at the same time gives a higher resistance, or if switching off would be more beneficial. So I'm gonna have to get back on that. So, people know, let me know in the chat, and I'm also streaming on a bit of delay, so it's gonna be quite a bit delayed. But I do think it's more efficient to have one active high active resistance and one low passive. So there's really no point in popping it and not switching to another passive unless you are absolutely confident that you're going to pop them as they die. But you can see because of this very little overheal action, he's able to have a lot of pops and at the same time heal his team. And then he's there you go. And heal this soldier, giving him some fire resistance when he was very low. I say you normally shouldn't do that, but in this case it's fine, and then he runs into sentry fire. Didn't have resist. So if you make a lot of mistakes and you're not fast enough in the terms of like just what kind of damage you will be receiving and observing, because this Vaccinator requires you to have super observation skills and be precise and pinpoint. It's kind of like, I would say the Vaccinator is the most precision-based Medigun of them all, and it's also very hard to use. Can be good, like here you can see the other Pyro barely surviving and do that. So you should be you should basically also memorize all the rotations. So basically the rotation that I use, and I've said in the past, is always keep it on, if you are on bullet, it's 1 cycle and you're to explosive, and from explosive it's 2 cycles back to bullet, because fire isn't really needed. But you can see it's an uphill battle for blue team, and even though we're not killing them, we have just more health than they do when I come around a corner, and they won't be able to pass. Also, crits is not really an issue here. So there we go. Great. Popping this when he's under direct contact from fire. He also has a pyro next to him, and then he switches back. Grabs the health in the house because it's conveniently placed. And you can see bullet resist scout dodging on a heavy equals the guy dies. And we are fine. And still just holding. Keep in mind, he hasn't died all this time either to anything. he stayed alive. He kept his teammates alive too. Which is good. So, him to be like Coker Bag. Coker Bag, yes. That's, yeah, Coker Bag. So, normally when you're a Vaccinator medic, you normally don't have more than 1 or 2 charges. If you're not using your charges, you have like 4 and the round hasn't even started, you're being stingy. You should share the wealth. If right-click pops. 30 seconds left on the clock. You think he's gonna die before the time ends? And also, oh, you're going with an Uber? That's convenient. And then he just pops it on the pyro, bullet resists. Oh yeah, but the heavy got a buff. And oh, he died with 13 seconds left on the clock. What a scrub! He's so bad. He died. Alright. So that was the user submitted ones. So I think we got a good idea of basic medic basics that you should just always be practicing. It's hard to remember all of them at once. So this is going to be the best player you know. It's of course going to be me playing. So I recorded these yesterday. I just joined the game, I think. I'm just going with, or I think I died once, but I'm going with the Uber, mainly because we don't really know what it's up against, and this seems to be working, and the other medic is actually running Quick Fix. So Quick Fix Uber with a double medic pair is fairly competent, fairly good. So that will be nice. I'm just overhealing everybody. I tried to make sure that as soon as I stop or overheal somebody, I heal someone else. So right now I'm on the top by myself, and right now I'm making a mistake because I'm focusing on this guy right here, but I'm not hearing the cries of the pyro that's over there with 32 health. And then he died because I wasn't fast enough. So that was my bad, but we got the point, and I survived, and I almost have an Uber, so I'm just gonna say that I'm a very important medic and fuck that pyro. And then losing that guy, I don't think I would have been able to heal him unless I hit him with an arrow. So we go in, and this is what I like to do when I run in. I Uber, and I put my ass first to see if there's anyone else coming that I can fly. So this is what you do. You run, you take the pushback from the gun, and then hopefully, oh fuck. Alright, so then you try and go for a daring escape, which you manage to do without taking any damage from the gun. Healing this sniper man as we try and going for another one. Give overheals to everybody. So it's also a great way of just building damage or building Uber. And we have the sniper pyro kind of, and the sniper. Gun has gone down. We go in and we realize that, oh wait, they don't actually have anything here. I'm not gonna bother with that spy. Give me Uber! There we go, 93%, flicking it over to this guy, just standing on the point, didn't even have to use it. Win, victory, good, great, perfect. So good at this game. So good at playing against pubs and people that aren't very good at the game. Pub Stoppers was a competitive team I made once. So this is something I didn't see, but I think some of you might do it sometime. So this is where he is back on upward. Gonna run all the way to the front, and look at this. We have everyone on my team is looking one direction. Oh, there's a scout behind me. Let's call for help, shall we?
Assistance Peter!
Yes, someone had reaction time to do that. Also, spy got wrecked. Good for us. Very good for us. Not good for the guy who dies, but then try to heal everybody and try and keep the overheal on one target to a minimum. So you can see everybody has overheals. Give it to him, and then can give it to that sniper because there's nothing pressuring him right now. The scout running back at full health, I don't understand. Occupying space is good. Just healing that guy. Going back to healing the sniper, healing that guy, overhealing him. And then this time I'll make up for it, Pyro. I'm gonna heal you twice. There you go, buddy. The soldier leaves me, and then he comes back down. And Spyro is just hiding behind here. Overheal the scout. The healing priority is heal whoever's gonna leave you first, and then heal the rest around you. It's obviously a spy. That happened. Saw it here first. Watching this on YouTube, you can rewind that if you so desire. You can't cap while you have a full Uber when you pop the full Uber. So, okay, so I'm just pushing, and my team is sure where they are. We're gonna Uber this engineer, and then Uber this scout, and just flash them. Run in the front. Oh, Vaccinator. I'll take that and put on explosive resist, because that's the only thing they have that can actually knock us off. And we push it in the hole, and we win. That's what we could say. I did last night. I pushed it in the hole, and then I won. That's how life works. It wasn't really that much of an opposition. I had some games that took forever. But this is actually a game where we had a lot of demo men and we had a lot of champions. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Oh yeah, we were voting up some cheater, I think. That was on our team, maybe. Anyway, Kritzkrieg, defense, engineers, and explosive classes are a lethal mix. So go, yeah, yeah, it was this red team guy. Yeah, he was cheating, and away he went. Lately, I've seen there's a lot of cheat. Actually, I saw one cheater that had a cheat that even though he was whack banned, he was still playing on servers. So apparently, it seems to be a cheat that allows them to play regardless of being banned or not, which sucks. But yeah, they seem to be lagging a lot. They play with like 200 and 300 ping, and they just like hit every shot, and it looks really weird when you're spectating them. So that's weird. But now we have full Kritzkrieg, and this guy. Hey, a high note promofo or whatever. Did pretty good. So he jumps around. You can see that he's an aggressive dude. And of course, we try to save the spy. And then try to heal the soldier. Checking my back. I don't need to see what he's seeing. Heal his. Oh, no, stop. That was copyrighted. Whatever, I clicked the wrong button. So then we heal up the spy with the crit heals, try to hit more people with crossbow. Try not to use the crossbow too much. Like, I usually fire 1 or 2 bolts, and if I miss, I'm like, fuck it, I'll just heal you normally, because I don't want to waste any more time not doing anything. So I heal the ones in the front. We have dispenser backups here, engineers all over the place. We got a no problemo here, so I'm going to be backing him up. Some more heals being sent in every direction. So far, Kritzkrieg seems to have been a very good choice because the enemy team doesn't have an Uber or something. They just have classes that deserve to die. Instead of GPS in the most edgelord way. So then I use for this soldier, and he then goes backwards for some reason. I was pretty upset with some team I played with, where whenever I Ubered or crits them, it was like they were getting scared of this newfound power they had, so they just ran backwards and hid in a corner, and no, they weren't inspired. Just idiots. There's a lot of cowardice. Be brave, just go forward, occupy space, go in their face. You will end up victorious. So keeping the heals on the problemo guy, and then healing the engineers. Excess stuff. You might accidentally heal a spy, but you need that Uber, so who the fuck cares? We haven't lost all buildings to spies yet, have we? Alright. So then we crits him. He gets a couple kills. It's nice, cleaning up this frag. We get the medic caught out of position. Trying to get the scout, missed the shot, didn't get the 25% Uber. Sabotage on my team, reported and kicked for griefing. And of course, healing snipers is pretty good if you're the only medic, like I was here, because if you don't heal them, they will get crit heals, which means it's very easy to just pop them full of an overheal. Like Knez said in the chat probably a while ago, I just saw now, with great Uber comes great responsibility. I think that's great, so. If you ever get the honor of getting an Uber on you, you have the responsibility to do greatness. And stop. I hate those crits. Don't you? Man. If only someone had made a meme about that. If only. So with that, we're gonna conclude with the last one. So then I've used all the Mediguns. This is the quick fix. I found the quick fix is best when you have soldiers that know how to rocket jump, like our friend Eddie here. And then we see we have Ed, And then we have Ed with double Ds somewhere. So here we're going to defend last. Guys just spy checking the sentry just to make sure. And I'm having a bit of a laugh. Wait, oh shit, a scout. Alright. So the infamous scout runs into sentry and dies strat. And here we have Ed, here we got double D. That's how we call him in English. It was Ed, double D, and Eddie, I think. Anyway, how about to have full crits, and we're gonna go to the spire and witness the power of the correct choice. So we jump up, and oh fuck, there's a pyro. If only I can't be air blasted. Ha 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 ha, fuck you. And then you switch off to the Ubersaw for faster capture, heal that guy up, and then you capture the spire, and greatness was achieved through the correct choice of a Medigun. So 5 CP if you have soldiers that know how to jump, or scouts that know how to run, or demo men that know how to jump. Quick fix is great because it gives you that mobility and sustainability that you normally wouldn't need. However, normally, unless there's a lot of engineers that has the BAL syndrome, which is building at last syndrome. And I missed that guy. You're not going to be doing a lot of sentry busting. There's not going to be a lot of sentries. So there's not going to be a lot of sentries. You can use the quick fix just fine. And it's great. And then we capture. And this medic, okay. And he's pretty weak. And I'm just telling him to go. And eventually he will. Killing that dude. And then we will go. Alright, oh no, I'm getting... Alright, protect me! Alright, the reaction time on these guys are kind of slow. But I think they mean well. Alright, so we're gonna go. Okay, finally. Only took a quick fix and 2 soldiers, and they're capping. Guys, dude, bros, they got the point back. We have to go back. We have to go. Alright, there we go. Alright, no, he's on me. Eddie, you idiot! Why? What are you doing?
What? You failed me! Incompetence surrounds me! How is this possible?
Well, I didn't know what they did at the end there, but it was fine, I guess. So, in order to summarize the choice of Medigun that matters, we saw that sometimes it doesn't matter where you pick. Anything you pick, it will work. But in some situations, like you saw with the Spire at the end there, any other gun I would have had, even the Kritzkrieg might have backfired, so it could be pretty lethal. So, what determines your choice, if you go over them again, different Mediguns and what they're good at. Medigun, great overall for anything, all-purpose use, quick fix, mobility, Vaccinator, very specific. If someone, champion or something, is screwing you over, like double Kritzkrieg Demo Man, and you're the only medic, then this might be a choice. Uber Charge, or as I call it, the Uber Charge, which is, you're so bad, you need 3 times the damage to kill anything. Then you use this. If they're clumped together and you can kill a lot of people pretty quickly, then the Kritzkrieg is great. So, no, I don't have a second pair of glasses under this. I don't. Oh God. So, for next week, we're gonna do a fun episode, and it's an item that I use a lot, and I've been using for years. It's actually the Killing Blows of Boxing Heavy. So just whatever you do with these, fun or serious or joking or whatever, just equip them, punch people, and have a great time. Yes. So thank you for watching. Be sure to join the Steam group if you haven't already. All kind of announcements and stuff goes on there. I'm also on Twitter, tweeting my frustrations over casual and the people that talk to me sometimes, and usually just banter for the most part. Yes. So, people in the stream will know that there's a raffle coming up, and if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this within 6 days of this video, and there's a link in the description, you can win TF2 items for free, which is pretty good. So remember, choose your Medigun wisely, and not just because someone said the quick fix was good.